शर्म खंड की पाणी रूप देते खाड़त खड़िए बात अनूप ताकि गल्ला कथियां न जाए जे को कहे पीछे पछताए देते घड़िए सुरत मत मन बुद्ध देते घड़िए सुरा फेरा की सुध देते घड़िए सुरा सुरा की सेध ज्ञान खंड में ज्ञान पर चंद ज्ञान खंड में ज्ञान पर चंद कर्म खंड की पाणी जोर कर्म खंड की पाणी जोर तिथे होर न कोई होर तिथे जोध महाबल सूर तिन राम रया भरपूर तिथे जोध महाबल सूर तिन मैं राम रया भरपूर तिथे सीतो सीता महिमा माहे ताके रूप न कथन जाए नायो मरे ना ठावे जाए जिनके राम वसे मन माहे जिनके राम वसे मन माहे तिथे भगत वसे के लोए करे आनंद सच्चा मन सोए सच खंडे वसे निरंकार कर कर वेखे नजर निहाल तिथे खंड मंडल वर भंड जेको कथे तायत नयंत तिथे लो लो आकार जिवे जिव हुक्म तिवे तिवकार वेखे विगसे कर विचार नानक कथना करड़ा सार जत पहारा तिरज सुनार अहरन मत वेद हथियार भाव खला अगन तप दाओ भांडा भाव अमृत तित ढाल घड़िए शब्द सच्चे टकसाल घड़िए शब्द सच्ची टकसाल जिनको नदर करम तिनकार नानक नदरे नदर निहाल। In our last sitting, we were being taken through the various stages of evolution of the soul on the path of spirituality, on the path of mysticism. It is extremely important to understand that difference and bear in mind that difference all the time. Religion is not spirituality. Religion is not mysticism. Religion is an organized way of pulling the people together, gathering them at a certain central place, and then follow a pre-prescribed rituals. And in the back of those rituals, then make sure there's enough funds collected to run that institution, to run that organization. It's a very common confusion. We may belong to any religion just by accident of the birth. Because I'm born in a certain religion does not necessarily mean that I am spiritual in nature. Spirituality has nothing to do with the religion. And what we focus in these sittings is what is the spirituality behind the words, not the religion, not the ritualism. So last time we noticed that we are being given a very clear, succinct message, which is that if you are on the path of spirituality, the path of dharma, then you must first go through the Gyan Marg. You must come through the Gyan. Meaning thereby, you must understand what you are doing, why you are doing, and where it will take you. If you are not sure yourself of why you are doing what you are doing, then there is a very beautiful way of describing in this language. Are you making monkey of me? You know where that quotation came from? You'll be surprised. Making a monkey of somebody. There was once an experiment conducted in the lab. 4 monkeys were put in a single cage. In the center of the cage, there was a rod, a pole. On the top of the pole, they hung some bananas. And the monkeys are going around and they are looking at the banana, and all 4 of them are free. So one of them started going up the pole. As he got closer to the pole, they poured a bucket of water on the head. And the monkey made some noises and came down. Every time he gets there, they pour a bucket of water, so he comes down. Now he's not going. And then the second monkey did the same thing. So to cut the story short, you can see all 4 monkeys try to get to the bananas, and every time a bucket of water was thrown on their head. Now all 4 monkeys are not now. Now there is no bucket of water up there, but now the monkeys are not going up the pole. What they did, they took one monkey out and brought in a fresh monkey who has not seen this phenomena. So as he starts to go the pole, the other 3 are pulling him down. They are not letting him go. No matter how hard he tries, all 3 will not let him go. Then when they saw that now the 4th monkey, because he knows I am not powerful enough to resist these three, he doesn't go up the pole and they take the second monkey out and bring a second fresh monkey. And the same phenomena repeats. The second one tried to go up the pole, the other three trying to pull him down. Slowly they replaced all four monkeys who have never gone up the pole. And what they observed, that all four now, none of them have actually seen what happens there. But none of them are going. Because anytime somebody tries to go, the other pulls them down. That's it. So the cause of not going up the pole is no more available. But that pattern of pulling the monkey down is still continuing. So if you ask any one of the monkeys as to why you're doing this, they have no answer for it. Hence the quotation, are you making monkey out of me? Because there's no explanation what you are asking me to do or not to do. You're making monkey out of me. In spirituality, there is no making monkey out of me. The message, central message of Gurbani in our last sitting was, don't be a monkey. Go through the Jnana Marg. If you are going to go to Dharma Khand, if you are going to go through your original Dharma, Dharma means your essence. Dharma does not mean a Hindu, a Sikh, a Muslim. Dharma means who you are in essence. If you want to get to that essence, then go through the next stage, which is Jnana Marg. Try to understand it, what it is. Ask the question. Seek the answer. Don't accept just anything because we've been doing it, because my grandfather did it, that because this is how it is done for like time immemorial. Or how can the majority be wrong? Forgive my saying so. You might have heard a quotation, the majority normally consists of, what is that term? Majority consists of? Fools. Don't be one of them. Wake up. You spend years and years in a university to learn a single trade. How come you are not spending a week, 10 days, a month to learn a way of life? Why you're not devoting time? You ask me to get up early in the morning. What is the purpose? What happened if I got up 4 hours late and then did it? Try to understand. You're asking me to put this over here, that over here. What does this all mean? And don't accept any childlike answer. Let the answer be also of that level where you want to go to. Go to Gyan Khand. When you go through Gyan Khand, you will start looking at what? You will start looking at the Creator's creation. The first thing that will happen is, why is all this? What is it all this? A wonderment will settle and you will start seeking the answers. Then you will suddenly realize that there is a limitation of the mind-body system. It can only conceive, perceive, and accept and acknowledge so much. Beyond that, it has no capability to perceive it. So you will certainly see the limitation of the senses. Not because somebody told you so, but because you have now seen for yourself. I just went last night to University of Berkeley in San Francisco area, and there was a talk on Sikhism in the university. They had called me to speak on Shri Guru Granth Sahib and its ragas and what they do. And one of the professors afterward came to me and said, it's very difficult. God, it is very difficult. And I said, on the contrary, to me it is so simple. It is not difficult at all. You see, I don't understand why you say that. So, well, let me break it down for you. It is difficult for you and for any and all of us because we try to put it into a certain boundary. We try to put it into fit into a model somehow or other in my don'ts and the do's and the yeses and the no's and the rights and the wrongs. I try to put in that, meaning they what? We try to look at the universe in either 2 dimension and if we are little more evolved in 3 dimensions. Hence, if there is a 4th, 5th, 6th dimension added to it, since we cannot swallow it, conceive it, perceive it, we say it doesn't exist. Take it away. It can't be. How it can be? The brain is okay with saying this is right, this is wrong. At the most, it can accept maybe it is right, maybe it is wrong. But you tell the brain it is right and wrong at the same time. Now the brain is gone bonkers. He cannot deal with it. Wait a minute, it is right and wrong at the same time. No, I cannot deal with that. Either give me that or give me this. Don't give me both to deal with. Universe is not even that much. It is multi-dimensional. One of the things that drive the people nuts about me, they go crazy when I say, what do you mean there's nothing right, nothing wrong? No. You nuts? Yes. I mean, you have no preference? No. How can that be? You must be making monkey out of me. No, in the universe there is nothing right and nothing wrong. They are all just possibilities. They are all just choices. Being a saint is a choice, being a rapist is a choice, being a murderer is a choice, being a meditator is a choice. They're all choices. We put a value system on it. This is the right choice, this is the wrong choice. Why? Because otherwise I cannot deal with it. Tell me what choice to make. Guide me what choice to make. What is the right one? So, well, they're all right. Pick one. Understand that each choice has a reaction to it, attached with it. Now, once you know, here is the action and here is the reaction, all choices are yours. No judgment whatsoever. Judgment comes from the human mind. Judgment is not coming from there. He just made the choices. And when you go to that Gyan Khand, Gyan Marg, that's you start recognizing that. So we talked about the Gyan Marg. So I'm just trying to create the link for those of you who are new here, so you can see what we've been talking about. So the Dharma Khand ka eho dharma, Gyan Khand ka akho karam. So we were talking of the Gyan Khand. And then they will discuss there, kete pavan pani vaisantar, kete kan mahesh, kete barme ghat ghadiye roop rang ke vesh. Meaning the nature and its characteristics. Or even the most ultimate question, where did this all come from? When was it made? Today there is on the internet, they have now discovered the new farthest galaxy. Every year, every month there is a new farthest galaxy. This one is 36,000 light years away. 36,000. They said how many quadrillion of miles of suns, etc. And that galaxy is all formed. It's there. Okay, continue. Somewhere along the line, you are going to have to give, the intellect will have to give up and say, only you know, if at all. And I will go to that scientist and say, even he doesn't know. Why? He isn't done, he isn't finished. It is a never-ending process. Because if he is finished, he is done, then his limit has come. Right? How could the Creator be unlimited if he is done? That work is never going to be done. Do you know that in the West, a woman is compared with God also? Most of you, if all these liberated women knew, there is a Western quotation: man's work is from sun to sun, a woman's work is never done. The man gets up when the sun comes up and he goes to work in the farm. And when the sun goes down, he comes back, shuts the animals, and he's home. But a woman's work is never done, because now she's feeding him and then he's going to sleep and she's cleaning it up and he's still not up. She's going to get up and get the children ready. She never seems to sleep. That's pretty much like God. He never sleeps. You will suddenly start seeing the brain's limitation to process the multi-dimensions as you go through Gyan Marg. And you will come to a realization that if I knew precisely the time of creation, method of creation, now what I do? What the heck I do with this information? Can I use it? Can I sell it? Can I bank it? So useless data. God, okay, you know up to 13 billion light years? Okay, let's add another 13. Well, it was made 26 billion light years ago. Okay, fine. It was made on a Monday morning. All right, fine. Take it. Go write it in the books. Now what do you do with this? And suddenly that desire, that hankering, that craving drops. You no more want to ask this question: when was the universe made? How it was made? Was the sun before, or the moon before, or the earth before? You couldn't care less. Because it does nothing to you. Nothing for you. But my seeking, my speaking is not going to convince you of that. You are going on your own journey. You are going to go through that Gyan Marg, and you're going to reach a boundary. And say, oh, okay, I know now. Enough questions. I better get going on what I have learned from this. And then Gurbani warns. It says, now be careful on this stage. Gyan khand mein gyan parachand, tithe naad binod kod anand. It says, this is the first stumbling block for every seeker. Once they get under some Gyan, they start enjoying the discussion, just as we are doing. Get together and talk about, I know this, I discovered this thing new. So there is a certain enjoyment in just, hey, I am above you now because I am, you remember that quotation, that small people talk about things, next higher people talk about people, and next higher people talk about ideas. So I am now above everybody. I'm talking about ideas. Ha 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 ha. I made it. Certainly the ego will wake up. Entertainment of the just pure intellectual gymnastics will give you so much pleasure, so much enjoyment that you just sit there and just talk and analyze and talk. So remember that. Gyan khand mein gyan parchand. He says when Gyan Marg gets so fine, tej, parchand means sharp. What happens? Dithe naad binod kod anand. There you start enjoying it. The first risk. That's why you look at all these philosophers around the world. You look at all these pandits and the Gyanis and the mullahs, and they come to talk to you. They just stop right there and see, did you know that about? Let me tell you something new. And that's it. And if you say, well, what do I do with this now? Well, I haven't gone there. All my life, I just go from place to place to place to place, and to tell the people, do you know this? Let me solve that for you. And move on. And Gurbani says, no, wait. That's a total waste of life. It was just one step on the ladder. Now, once you have understood, get on to the next stage, which is now the Saramkhand. Means mehnat, means to work, the mean to actual do it. Whatever you have been told. If you accepted anybody as your teacher, master, guru, and the guru said, okay, you want to achieve to nirvana? Well, that's what Buddha used to say. Well, what should I do? He said, well, the last master said, you shall not eat more than 1 grain of rice for 24 hours and learn to survive on that. Tathastu. Yes, master. Guess what? He did that. Literally lost every muscle and fiber of the bone. It was a caricature of bones. Somehow the skin covering it. Why? Because the master said so. But he did that. At that stage, when he eventually, one fine morning, the moon is going down and he sees this early morning, I need to get up, go to the river, take my bath and get into the meditation. He pulls himself down, drags down into the water which is very slightly flowing, and he's so weak that he starts moving with the water. Suddenly he's drowning. And there is a root of the tree, people tree. He holds on to the root, pulls himself out of the water and says, what stupidity, what nonsense. There is no God, there is nothing to be found of. What a fool I was. I am going home. Enough is enough. And saying that, he fell asleep. What happened in this process? The last desire of actually finding the God or finding the nirvana also disappeared. Complete and total loss of any kind of desire. State of total desirelessness. Nothing to be found. In that process, the final ego dies. And that morning he gets up and suddenly there is a total new light around him. But do you think if now I tell you that, okay, you do that and you will be able to do it? Absolutely not. It has been written for the last 2,500 years ago. It was written, this is what happened to Gautama. Don't you think people have tried that? How many people in those years? Let's also go try that. Starve to death and then try to come back from it. Doesn't work that way. You have to have your own journey. Get on with it. Stop discussing and stop going and stop listening to just one thing and forget about it. It's all gibberish. Go do it. And then you will get into what? Saramakhand. That means the action. The actual doing. What will happen in the Saramakhand? It says Saramakhand ki bani jor. Jor does not mean the Shakti, the Takat. That's what some people have translated it that way. Here the Jor means Jodana. To get together, to meet. Jodana. He says the detachment from the physical world, the world of senses, and attachment to the inner journey happens through what? He says Saramakhand, by actually doing it. Go through it, and when you are going through that journey, you will see something interesting is happening in you. Slowly, slowly, the outer world is no more attractive. Slowly, slowly, the outer world is there. You move around. It's the same party, but now you feel like not going and cherry picking a little bit this, a little bit this, a little bit this. Notice that the very first thing you will notice in your characteristics. There will be a whole array of dishes. And now you will not take a spoon and taste every one of them. You will not. You will just go to the specific one and just take a specific one, and that will be the end of it. Why? The taste buds, the hankering of every new taste is disappearing. Earlier, there were dishes and you wanted to at least have a taste of each one of them. You may not eat all of them, but you want to taste all of them. Let me just give me a spoon. Just let me see that. How is that? But suddenly, a revolution inside. Now forget about the taste. This is what my body needs right now. You will just go to that particular, walk by everything else, just go pick that one. And slowly, slowly, the next change you will see in your habit patterns. Today you stand in front of the mirror and somehow or other, no matter how many times you throw the comb, the hair coming back and you can't get away from the mirror. Because you're not just perfectly looking. And then suddenly, you start seeing the beauty in your absolute rough hairs and rough clothes and the whole world. And you have no desire of picking up the lipsticks, and you have no desire of polishing your shoes and being immaculate and gentleman and prettiest lady in the world. What are those things? They're not bad. I'm not putting them down. I'm saying that's a revolution in you, in me, when we are on that path. Why? Because the rough diamond is just as pretty as the cut diamond now. Why? Because you started seeing the creator in the creation. You are not concerned with the outer shape of the diamond now. Now you are getting focused on the one who made the diamond. Hence, the outer shape of the diamond becomes irrelevant. Not it's good or bad. Nobody's putting any labels on it. I'm not saying the ladies who dress up and make up and do all that, they are doing something bad. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that right now their eyes stop at the skin. Then their eyes will start penetrating. When they will look at themselves, something will rebound back and say, aha, I am not the same what I started 10 years ago. You will start seeing that revolution, that evolution, that of consciousness, of the things, sudden subtle changes. That subtle changes are being caused by what? Not because just one thing said so, or not because Gita said so, not because you read Ramayana or Mahabharata or Guru Granth Sahib. It is because you are passing through the stage of Saramkhand. Because you are doing it yourself. Now, what you have learned, what you have heard, you have just put it into practice. Now, when you put it into practice, you're going to find stumbling blocks. What's the stumbling blocks? Well, society, your own mind. It's not used to. If you tell your mind-body system, I am going to sit for 5 minutes, it's going to ask you why. And you say, well, I'm going to meditate. Well, can't you do it tomorrow? Why start today? What's the rush? Where are you going? Well, what do I want to do now? Well, let's go to see a movie. Wasn't there a special on the television today? Wasn't there a sale in the Macy's? It will create those imaginary stumbling blocks. And why those stumbling blocks? Because it is basically saying, are you really serious? Or is it one of those fads? And if it is not a fad for you and you force yourself into the discipline, then you will find that the outer environment will come into and say, this was a time that you were not taking this, why now? And you have to go through each one of those phases. Not a single one of them, you are not unique in this arena. Every one of them. people. Kabir says, Mere Baba, main Baura. Sab khalq sayani, main Baura. He says, everybody calls me mad, gone crazy. And everybody says, Sab khalq sayani, everybody think that they are wise and I am the pagal one. I am the crazy one. And he says, what do I tell them? Please, you stay the wise one. Don't become crazy like me. Just leave me alone. He said, main bigre mate aura. I understand that if in your eyes this is actually going mad, then I would pray to you, please don't go mad like me. You stay the wise one. Just leave me alone. मैं बिगड़े हो अपनी मत खोई हमरे भरम न भूलो कोई. I have lost the intellect. Now the beautiful thing. Who wants to lose the intellect? I give you a very small test. And what that test is, you will have fun with it. If I get hurt and I am in pain, and you come to say pay your sympathy and condolences, you come to see me, oh, you got hurt, you are sick, and sorry to hear about that. Okay. What happens if you come to meet me and say, we just heard that your brain is sick, your mind is sick, we heard you've gone crazy. You think I'll feel very good about it? I'll throw you out of the house. When my leg is hurting and you come to pay the sympathy, I'm okay with it. But if his mind is hurting, you pay the same sympathy, what happens? I don't like that. Why? And the reality is, each one of us has the mind hurting, more so than the body. Each one of us are in internal pain. But we are not willing to accept that sympathy. Why? Because somewhere deep down we still think body is not me. But mind is me. My ideas are mine. My thoughts are mine. So if you say your mind is sick, wait a minute, I am going to take care of you right now. And the reality is, body is really not that much sick. It is the mind. And through the Sarmakhand, you are working to cure the mind. And what is curing the mind is actually dropping the mind. Whatever I have learned, whatever I have heard, whatever I have gathered here, I have to drop. Only then what is coming from the beyond would be available to me. If I keep on passing that through the filter of the mind, it will never get in. It is impossible. So Kabir says, मैं बिगड़े हो अपनी मत खोई. सिर्फ बिगड़ना और है क्या? What is this? He said, drop your mind that you have learned, and the society is going to absolutely go wild and against you. Say, how dare you? Isn't it? That's what happened to Nanak. Father says, go take the $20 and go buy something, and he goes distribute to the saints and feed them. What a stupid thing to do. You lose $20. He said, no, I didn't lose $20. I spent at the right place. See? Now to the world, here is a absolutely useless child who cannot take care of $20. And in that universe, here is a mind who knows what is the right investment. Total different way of looking at life. The whole thing changes. Now, I don't mean now you go to your parents and say, Mom, give me $20, I'm going to throw it out, and you call me your guru. I mean, that's not what I'm saying. It doesn't happen that simple. You had to go through that process. So, Sarmakhand ki bani jor. Sarmakhand means it will actually get you closer to him. Jod degi. And what is the sign, what is the test that you are not with that? कहते तिथे होर ना कोई होर. That's the test. Meaning thereby, nobody is different. Hor na koi hor. So long as the eyes are seeing any difference, that means the journey is still going on. If a pretty girl and a not pretty girl are still visible to you, if a girl and a boy is still visible to you, if a Hindu and a Sikh is still visible to you, then you are still on the journey. You have not gotten there. When you will get there, tithe hor na koi hor. No distinction. So then what is it? Now it's all him. The eye just do not stop at not only the face, not only the clothes, not only the dress, not only the voice, but it doesn't stop anywhere. It goes down to the seventh layer and say, aha, that's where the light is. And that light is the same. Somebody brought a painting of Krishnamurti sitting in meditation. And Vivekananda was sitting right next to him. That painting was presented. No, I'm talking about
Ramakrishna.
Ramakrishna. Yeah. And he was sitting right next to him. So when he opened the eyes and the painting sitting just as a Batra Sahib sitting, he put the painting facing him. And he looked at the painting and suddenly he bowed his head. And Vivekananda said, what are you doing? There are people looking at you, they say, what egoistic guy is worshipping his own picture. And he smiled. All he could do was smile. And he says, awake. First thing, you have just seen the paper. At the most, you may have seen the painter. But you are totally incapable of seeing the energy behind the painter which painted this picture. My head is not bowing either to the painting or to the painter. It's bowing to that energy who created such a capability that somebody, by just looking at it, can bring that on a piece of paper. Can you give that capability to anybody? Can you create that energy in anybody? My head is bowing to that energy. By just seeing the piece of paper and a picture on it, Paramahansa could see that. The eye did not stop, either on the paint or on the paper or on the hand that is painting it, or the name or the body. It went straight to that one who has that capability. Unless as you get there, unless until you keep going closer to, think about it. If you are going closer to that, what will you drop? What will start dropping from you?
Ego.
All ego will start dropping. All arguments will start dropping. All fights will start dropping. All preferences and non-preferences will start dropping. This is my room, this is my house, this is my daughter, this is my mother. They all start dropping. Why? Because mother is no more a mother. It is his image. It's him. If it is him, if I can see the creator in my mother, can I possess her now? It's my mother. Creator is everybody. Would you be able to say it's my mother now? If you can see the creator? Absolutely not. Would you be able to fight with the mother? Would you be able to argue? Because suddenly that voice that says, beta do this or don't do that, would be from where? From cutting from the creator, right? So would you be able to say no? Would you be able to say, why? Give me the reason for this. Only thing you'll say, yeah. Thanks for the opportunity. I'm glad you asked me to do this. And have you noticed that every conflict in life starts with the word no? If you ask me just one thing, shut up, and I say okay, what's left? What will you do now? And if I say no, I won't stop. Why do you want me to stop? Now what? See, the dialogue started? The argument started? As soon as you say yes to anything, the conflict disappears. The very simple formula. Start getting the word no out of your dictionary. You want to know meditation from me? Here is a perfect meditation. You want to keep a karwa charva birth? On that day say, today I'm going to say yes to everything. That's my birth. I am not going, right, to do the birth because I'm not going to eat something. That's a absolutely ridiculous birth. You want to keep a birth? Say, my birth today, no more no. That's it. Anybody who comes, everybody who says, ask for something, yes. Oh, somebody's going to take very undue advantage of me. Okay, let it. Let it. Watch what happens. See the revolution that not only comes in you, but in the other one who is deliberately taking advantage of you, and you laughingly walk away and say, yeah, all right, that's fine. Let's do that. Suddenly you will see a marvelous thing happen in the other one. Oh my God, it doesn't matter to you? Knowingly you are willing to suffer, knowing that I'm taking undue advantage of you, and you are willing to do that? What do you mean knowingly? That's who I am. That's what I am. It's my birth today. And then start extending that birth to the 365 days and see what a revolution happens in your life. Don't know it to go to any temple, gurdwara, churches, nothing to do. Start saying yes. What will happen when you say yes? Where is the Sikh journey starts with Hukam Razai Chalana, isn't it? What is the Hukam Razai Chalana Nanak Likhya Naal? What does that mean? Whatever his will. Stay in that will. What that will means. Whatever is given to you, whatever is presented to you, stop being judgmental about it. Stop analyzing it and say, thy will be done. Thy will be done. Yes, that's okay. That's alright. Catch yourself when the urge comes in, say, well, this guy is really going too far. And you can test that as soon as you go home today. Husband and wife can test that right away. Because that will happen right away. Honey, how did you like it? No, it's too much wishy-washy. I didn't care. Right there. No, I liked it. Well, no, I didn't like it. What's happening here? Whatever has been given you, you have set in judgment and you have rejected it. Think about how should God come and talk to you? You have heard that story that a priest was marooned in a boat in the ocean. And somebody in a small boat saw him and came to him and said, well, I'll take you the shore. He said, no, my shepherd is my God. I don't want to take your obligation. That's okay. And suddenly somebody with a bigger thing, a ship, etc. And he said, no, God is my shepherd. I have a belief in him. He's going to save me. And then somebody with a helicopter came down and said, I'll pick you up. No, you go. And he drowned. So the story goes that when he appeared, he said, oh Lord God, I had so much faith in you and you let me down. So how did I let you down?
3 times.
Did you not see the helicopter? In which shape or form did you want me to appear in front of you with some long beard with that Hollywood picture? How should God come and talk to you? This is how God talks to you. He borrows somebody's mouth. He borrows somebody's hands. He borrows somebody's legs. And he comes to you. Do you need help? I'm here to walk. Who is sending that help? If you are not going to listen, what can God do then? So when the words are coming to you, they are not coming from Jaswant Singh. Jaswant has absolutely nothing to do with it. If they are touching certain chord of you, and you keep on rejecting and say, nope, nope, nope. I want to see somebody dressed up like this, speaking with a half Indian accent and a half American accent, and then I'm ready to do shashtang. They're willing to lie down straight on the ground, flat. Oh, Guruji, save me. And he says, beta, that's okay. How much money you got in your pocket right now? We need to do a yajna. Now I'm very okay. That is not going through the Sarvakhand. You just wasted going through the Gyan Khand. The idea was that in the Gyan Khand, understand what you're doing, why you are doing, how you are doing. Once you have understood that, go now, implement it. And its test is what? Tithe hor na koi hor. If as you are evolving in your practice, in your abhyas, in your meditation, a certain revolution will come. And oh, by the way, if it is not coming, many of you here, I'm sure, have a certain ritual they've been performing all their life. They learn from their parents, get up in the morning, do this, do that, go to this mandir, this masjid, this gurdwara, this church, and then do this practice, this thing, etc. Fine. No problem. And they've been very, very regular about it. Okay? So now the question is, you have done for so many years. Let's find out if it has helped you. Are you spiritually anywhere better than when you started with? So just look back 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, whatever. I'll go and say, these are the things I liked and these are things I didn't like. Now, this is how I have changed. How have you changed? Is your anger any lower? Is your greed any lower? Is your desires any lower? Is your attachments any lower? Is your ego any lower? Or the ego says, you know what? For 50 years I did not even get absent one day. I did my prayer every day. What happened to the ego right now? Did you hear it what it said? Instead of it becoming humble, it has actually sharpened. And if somebody says to you, wow, that's no good. How dare you tell me like that? Don't you know who am I? Guess what? Instead of anger going down, it's come up. So, what is the test that a particular discipline, a particular act is helping you to grow spiritually? You don't need to go to any master, any teacher, any philosopher. Just ask yourself, am I any more lesser angrier? Am I any more lesser greedier? Not. I mean, if you are already a billionaire and you are not a greedier, and that's not a test. You know, our primary school teacher used to say, शरारती बच्चा वो है जिसके शरीर में हड्डी भी ना हो फिर भी शरारत करे. Meaning thereby, a person is not naughty or mischievous that he is already 350 pounds and anybody can hit anybody. No. The naughtier is the one who is a skinnier one and knows that he's got beaten the hell out of it, but he still can't stop. He will still do something funny with somebody and risk. That's the naughty one. The one who has already collected billions and said, well, I don't worry about any more wealth. No. That's not a test. Now the test is, to that billionaire, say, what happens if I take the billion away from you? Now find out what happens in the consciousness. Is it willing to let go? That means the greed is under control. तो अगर ये है गरीब ना सोया रोटी की भाल में और अमीर ना सोया उसकी संभाल में, तो फिर तो कुछ बना नहीं. Then it's not. So you want to see, is the ego getting crystallized? Is the anger getting higher? Is the greed getting, is the attachments the same way? Well, how do I know? Well, it's very simple. There's a very beautiful story in Kabir's life that somebody brought a very expensive diamond and gave it to him. And he said, well, for me, stone and this is what I'm going to do. It's your patthar hai. What will I do with that? He said, oh, it's a very expensive. But for me, what does it mean? It has no value. It's not on the world of spirituality. Oh. So he picked up and put it in his pocket and started walking, and Kabir's son was sitting right there. He said, what are you doing with that one? He said, I'm taking it home. He said, why? You just heard it's useless. First you brought it from home, such a heavy thing, now you're taking it back. Leave it there. It's useless. Now he's totally confused. Father is saying, I don't want it, take it away. Son is saying, it's useless. It's useless for you, it's useless for everybody. Why keep on carting it back and forth? Just leave it there. So he leaves it there. He said, what should I do? He said, well, just put it in any corner. So he puts there. And it's gone. So now he wants to see that it looks like the son was attached. Father wasn't. So next year he comes. And he says, oh, where's that stone? He said, what do I know where's that stone? No, I gave it to you. He said, you never gave it to me. I told you I don't do anything with the stones. No, I left it here. Well done. Go find where you left it. And he goes there and is sitting just like that over there. Just sitting like that. Just saying it is only a stone means nothing. But is it really a stone for you? That is the test. Is your attachment gone? How would you test it yourself? Go through the things which you collected throughout your life and say, these are so many memories. And see, as soon as you think of, if this goes away, what happens to me? With every memory that you try to get rid of, a pain comes in and your hand says, no, put it back. You have just been told that your attachments are still there. You don't need to ask anybody. So, going through the Saramakhand, these revolution things will happen in you. Automatically, if you are staying with the Saramakhand. Saramakhand ki bani jor, tithe hor na koi hor, tithe jod maha balasur, tin mein ram rahya bharapur. That's a test. See, you will get spiritually and so strong. How? Tithe jod maha balasur. The spiritual energy is so much that the bravest of the brave would not be able to stand that power in front. Why? Tin mein ram raya bharapur. Now that ultimate creator is now beginning to shine out of you. Titte sito sita mehmamaye. Beautiful, beautiful parable. It says there, male and female energy will have met. The distinction would have gone. Female would have met the inner male. Male would have met the inner female. That inner meeting is absolutely way beyond description than all the meetings that you so far have gone all through your life. Tithe sito sita mehmamaye. तिनके रूप न ठागे जाए जिनके राम वस, ना वो मरे न ठागे जाए जिनके राम वसे मन माहे. So who are those people? He says in Saramakhand, then you get to the stage of Tithe Bhagat Vase Kehloe. Now you are the true meditator. These are the tests of the true meditator. Now you are really ready to be called a Bhagat, a saint, an evolved soul. Kare Anand Sacha Manasoe. Now you are in that ultimate bliss. You are yea close to the ultimate jump. And what is that stage? Particularly for the follower of the Sikhism, this is something to be noted. Those of you who have taking the notes, pay attention to the spellings of the word Khand. The word Khand in 4 places was spelled differently than the 5th stage, which is now it is Sach Khande. It has changed the spelling and the pronunciation. Because these are stages: Dharm Khand, Gyan Khand, Sarva Khand, Karma Khand. What is Karma Khand? Now you are, Karma means his blessing. Now you are in his. Now you are actually, your job has been done. Now from this point onward, his grace will start. So once you are in that grace stage and you are sitting and waiting, now you have a choice. Earlier you did not. Now the drop has removed all the impurity, is standing right on the bank of the ocean. It can stay at the ocean bank and enjoying that purity, or it can take the final jump. But remember, when the drop falls into the ocean, it's no more a drop. It's part of the cosmos now. It cannot say itself, I am that drop. And that is the last stage, Sach Khande Vase Nirankar. That's why it's not a Khand, it's not a division. It's Khande. It's not stage. It's a cosmos. This is in all of the universe. That ultimate creator is, and now you are ready to take. After the 3rd stage, which is the Karma Khand, when you have actually gotten to the stage where Bhakta Namdev said, Doodh piyo Gobinde Raye, nahi to ghar ko baap rasaye. And we attach the story with that. There is a hymn by Namdev. Doodh kutore gadve pani, kapal gaye name dhoye ani. And the story with him is that his father was a priest and he used to get up early in the morning, get the fresh milk and first go to the God's statue and offer it, and then start his rest of the work. And he had to go to some faraway village, and he told his son to do that service on his behalf. So Namdev got up early in the morning and took that milk and went to the statue and sat in front of it and said, unless until you drink this milk, my father is going to beat me up, so I'm not going to go. I'm going to sit here. And they made a story around it that eventually, looking at the innocence of the child, the god appeared out of the statue and drank the milk. All fictional characteristics. It has nothing to do with that. This hymn basically is saying of this stage that I'm describing to you, standing on the 3rd stage, sitting in the Karam Khand. Now, where you can see both sides. You see on one side the attachments and the pleasures and the pain of the world. On this side, the ultimate bliss. But you cannot take that jump without His grace. So you sit and pray. Doodh piyo Gobinde Raye. Accept me now. Let Make me part of you. Open your arms and take me in your arms now. That hymn is of that stage. So he says that if you want to become the part of the Sachkhand, then that is his grace. You cannot say that I did it and got it. Sachkhande vase nirankar, kar kar vekhe nadar nihal. That is his doing, it's not yours. So, in the final stage, again a reminder about the ego. Ego should not become refined. I did meditation and so much, and I have come up to this, working so hard. I deserve the reward now. Come on, where are you going? How come? How come you accepted Kabir and not me? It doesn't work that way. That means it is a reward and a punishment system. That is not how the nature works. You just sit in prayer there and wait for his grace. तिथे खंड मंडल वर पंड जे को कथे ता अंत न अंत तिथे लो लो आकार जिव जिव हुक्म तवे तिवकार. The conclusion says all this is his will. It's not a man-made process. It's not a philosophy. It's not a fictional characters created and written for your entertainment. These are the eternal laws. It applies universally. It is not, it's applied to a Hindu, a Sikh, a Muslim. It doesn't matter. It applies to all of you. Same way. He's not going to ask you which path did you follow. He's going to ask you, did you get to the top? You can, going up the hill, you can take an elevator, or you can take an escalator, or you can walk, or you can rope ride. It doesn't matter which way you go. Each method you apply will have its own problems, its own difficulties. The question is, did you finish the journey? Or did you start arguing on the middle? Hey, I got, you are a fool, you are going by the rope. I'm smart, I got an escalator. My work is easier, yours is tougher. Well, the one with the rope will certainly get there. You will be sitting there telling everybody my processes. You will be still sitting there telling everybody, look, how easy I got it. That's not the issue what method you followed. That's not the issue what process you followed. That's not the issue how long you took it. It has nothing to do with it. The whole thing is just sit and wait, because ultimate acceptance is his grace. जिव जिव हुक्म तवे तिवकार विखे विकसे कर विचार नानक कथना करड़ा सार. He says any attempt to put these things in words in the language is an absolute impossibility. If you say God, have you described it? If you say God is a man, have you described it? You say God is a woman, have you described it? God says is all of them. We have a Ardhanari Ishwar, we had made that half man, half woman, then half man, half beast. The man keeps on creating combinations somehow or other to satisfy that I am going to somehow or other capture his essence. And keep on falling back on his face. It is not possible. It is not possible. Accept that. You are a part of a whole. You are never ever going to know the whole. You are never ever going to see the whole. Stop that attempt. So, once you are in that journey, the next one actually describes the way of meditation in Sikh Dharma. So, because we try to keep these, what's left is that last stanza and then the shloka. And keeping time limit in mind, I rather not go into this because I didn't even realize that's 9:15, and you must be wondering when the hell he's going to shut up. So let's close it here. I want to thank you all for coming and being so patient and listen to the lesson that I have learned. For me, you are a really the examiner who's asking me to recite my lesson, and in doing so I fought short quite a few times. Hope you will forgive me for that. We will meet at the same place, same time in 2 weeks and continue on the journey. Next stanza actually describes the process. In Sikhism, what is the way to really do the meditation? It literally tells you step by step. And we will describe that process. We will demonstrate that process here as to how the Sikhs are supposed to meditate. Not what you see, that take the baja tabla and start beating it up and think that we are meditating. That's really not meditation according to Guru Nanak. So, do come next in 2 weeks again so that we can all benefit from this. And my basic hope and pray that someday we will cut all this thing out and all sit in a single room and do nothing but that saramakhand, that chanting, that meditation for which we are actually required, for which we really took this birth. So with that, again, thank you very much, and we will open for any questions and discussions.